Om Sri Lakshmi Narasimha Namaha. Valmiki Ramayana, Yuddha Kanda, Chapter 59. Ravana comforts Rama on the battlefield and flees. Summary. Fleeing desperate at the death of Prahasta, Ravana himself appears on the battlefront from an encounter along with Akampana, Indrajit, Atikaya, Mahodara, Pishacha, Trishiras, Kumbha, Nikumbha and Narantaka, the foremost of demons. After a tough fight with Sugreeva, Lakshmana, Hanuma and Nila, Ravana encounters Rama in battle and sustaining an ignominious defeat at the latter hands and escaping with his life withdraws to Lanka. Chapter 59 in detail. While Prahasta, the army chief of demons, was slain in the battle by Nila, the foremost among the monkeys, Ravana's army, possessing terrible arms, took to flight with the speed of a tide. The demons went and told Ravana that Prahasta, the army chief, has been killed by Nila, the son of fire god. Hearing those words of the demons, Ravana was possessed of anger. Hearing that Prahasta had perished in the fight, Ravana was afflicted with anger and his heart filled with grief, and he addressed the foremost of the leaders as Indra, the lord of celestials, to the leaders of the celestial troops as follows: that enemy is not to be despised, under whose blows the destroyer of Indra's host, the leader of my army with his followers and elephants, fell. I myself shall go to that wonderful battlefront without hesitation in order to destroy the enemies and to gain victory. As a forest is consumed by blazing fires, so shall I scorch that army of monkeys now, along with Lakshmana and Rama, with a multitude of arrows. Today I shall satiate the earth with the blood of the monkeys. Speaking thus, Ravana, the enemy of the Lord of Celestials, ascended his chariot, which shone like a flame and was yoked to a team of excellent horses, with its brilliance and an effulgent body. Ravana, the best among the king of demons, sallied forth with the sound of couches, kettle drums, cymbals, clapping of hands, and leonine roars, and well acclaimed by agreeable encomiums. That Ravana, along with the flesh-eating demons, whose forms resembled mountains and clouds, and whose glazes flashed like torches, shone like Rudra, the lord of immortals, surrounded by genii. Ravana, who was endowed with extraordinary energy, issuing all at once from the city, observed a ferocious army of monkeys with trees and rocks in their hands, ready for a combat, and roaring like a vast ocean and a mass of thunder clouds. Seeing that army of demons who were excessively ferocious, Rama, whose arms resembled great serpents, accompanied by his forces, and having great fortune, spoke to Vibhishana, the best among the wielders of weapons, as follows: Who is in command of this army? Furnished with every kind of standard banner and canopy, armed with javelins, sword, stakes, and other weapons and missiles, and composed of imperturbable soldiers and elephants as high as Mount Mahendra mountain. Hearing the words of Rama, Vibhishana, the equal of Indra in valor, then narrated to Rama about the choicest army of the foremost among the demons of the highest peculiarity as follows: O Prince, that hero who has a face with a coppery hue resembling a newly rising sun, coming on the back of an elephant, causing its head to sway, know him to be Akampana. He who standing in his chariot brandish his bow, which has a splendor of Indra's bow, whose standard bears the image of a lion, and who shines like unto an elephant with his terrible curved tusk. He is Indrajit, who is renowned for the boons he has received from Brahma. He who the archer, like unto the Vindhya, Asta or Mahendra mountains, standing in his chariot, a mighty warrior of superior strength, who wields a bow of unequalled size and having an exceedingly grown body. He is Atikaya. He who with tawny eyes resembling the Dwan, riding an elephant with its bells jangling, who is shouting aloud, he is the strong demon of the highest peculiarity, is called Mahodara. He who ascending the brilliant caparisoned horse, raising high a gleaming javelin, possessed a velocity of well directed thunderbolt, and resembles a mass of everything like an evening clouds and a mountain, he is Pishacha. He who seizing a sharp spike, which possesses the velocity of well directed thunder bolt, and comes mounting on an excellent bull, which shines like a moon, he is the illustrious Trishiras. The others resembling a thunderbolt, of large and well developed chest, who has an attentive mind, has the king of snakes as a standard, who is moving and twangling his bow, he is Kumbha. He who holding a mace decorated with gold and diamonds, which are radiant as fire, and also smoky, studded with sapphires, who advances as a standard bearer, taught he army of the demons, he is Nikumbha of prodigious exploits. He who mounted in a chariot adorned with flags, gleaming like a glowing blazer, who is furnished with bows, swords, and a multitude of arrows, he is Narantaka, who shines brightly over there and who in combat fights with mountain tops. He who surrounded by ghosts of dreadful form of rolling eyes, with heads of tigers, buffaloes, mighty elephants, deer, and horses under an excellent white canopy, with slender ribs, and shining like a moon, he who is the humbler of gods themselves, shining like unto Rudra, amidst the genii in the suzerain lord of the demons there. Ravana decked with a crown, who has brought Indra, the lord of celestials, and Vaivavata, the lord of death, low, is shining like the sun. His countenance is graced by earrings. His formidable stature equals the Vindhya, the lord of the mountains. Then Rama, the annihilator of the enemies, answered Vibhishana and said, Alas, what glory, what majesty is Ravana's, the lord of the demons. Ravana is beaming like the sun, with his rays difficult to be guessed. Neither can the eye rest on him, such is the binding strength of his magnificence. The body of celestials or demonical heroes may not be so radiant in this manner as this body of the king of demons. All the warriors of the suzerain Ravana are as high as hills, all fight with mountains, all wield fiery weaponry. Amidst the fiery ghosts of terrible aspect, the king of demons shines like the Yama, the lord of death, surrounded by blazing genii endowed with hideous forms. By good luck, that wretch comes today within my range of sight today. I shall expunge my worth, born of Sita's abduction. Having spoken thus, the valiant Rama, who was accompanied by Lakshmana, took up his bow and then standing erect, drew out an excellent arrow. Thereafter, the powerful Ravana spoke to those exceedingly strong demons as follows: Take up your positions, unflattering and happily at the gates and principal exits, the outposts and fortifications. Learning of my presence along with you there, taking this to be a weak point and storming this desolate city, which is otherwise difficult to be overpowered, the monkeys, when united, may destroy it by surprise. Having dismissed those counselors, and as the demons departed as ordered, Ravana thereafter began to split under the waters of the sea of monkeys, in the same way as a gigantic fish would render the entire expanse of the sea. Seeing Ravana with his radiant bow in the battle, Sugreeva, the lord of the monkeys, tearing up a huge mountain top, ran towards the king of demons. Seizing a mountain top with its many trees and ridges, Sugreeva hurled it on Ravana, the demon. Seeing that mountain top coming towards him, Ravana quickly broke it asunder with his arrows with golden shafts. While that mountain top, with its well-developed ridges and excellent trees, was rent asunder and fell on the earth, Ravana, like unto another Yama, the lord of death, loosened an arrow resembling a great serpent. The enraged Ravana, taking that arrow with the speed of a thunderbolt of Indra, the lord of celestials, and possessing the brilliance of fire, hurled it to kill Sugreeva. The arrow released by Ravana's arm reached Sugreeva, having a bodily splendor equal to that of Indra's thunderbolt, and pierced his body in its flight, as formerly Guha's spear when he discharged it at Krauncha mountain. Wounded by that arrow, which bereft him of consciousness, that warrior fell moaning to the earth. Beholding him falling on the ground, deprived of his senses in the battlefield, the demons raised a shout of triumph. Then Gavaksha, Gavaya, Susheshana, Rishabha, Jyotimukha, and Nala of exceedingly corpulence, tearing up rocks, rushed towards Ravana. The lord of the demons, with hundreds of arrows possessed of sharp points, rendered their projectile fruitless, and pierced those leaders of the monkeys with a multitude of marvelous golden shafted arrows. Pierced by the arrow of Ravana, the enemy of gods, those monkey generals of terrifying stature fell on the ground. Thereupon he covered that formidable army of monkeys with shower of arrows. Assailed and fallen down, those monkey warriors emitted cries as though struck by an arrow of terror, whom Ravana was destroying with his darts, and fled for refuge to Rama, who is capable of affording protection to all. Then the high-souled Rama, the skillful archer, taking his bow, set out at once. Lakshmana, however, approaching him with joined palms, spoke very meaningful words follows. O noble brother, of my own accord, I am able to kill this wretched Ravana. O Lord, I shall slay him. Permit me to do so. The exceedingly powerful and the truly courageous Rama spoke to that Lakshmana as follows. Go, Lakshmana, and also be strenuous in this duel. The exceedingly powerful and the truly courageous Rama spoke to that Lakshmana as follows. Go, Lakshmana, and also be strenuous in this duel. Seek out his weak points and guard against your own. Defend yourself vigilantly with your eye and bow. Hearing the words of Rama, Lakshmana embraced him. Thereafter, offering obeisance and bidding him farewell, he entered the battlefield. Lakshmana then saw Ravana with arms as large as a trunk of elephants, who was brandishing his dreadful and fiery bow, covering those monkeys whose bodies he had severed with a close rain of darts. The exceedingly energetic Hanuman, born of Marut, the god of wind, beholding this, rushed on Ravana in order to bring that rain of arrows to an end. Approaching his chariot, the sagacious Hanuman lifted his right arm and spoke the following threatening words to Ravana. You have obtained the boon of invulnerability through the celestials, demons, celestials, magicians, ogres, and semi-divine beings, but monkeys are a danger to you. This five-branched right hand of mine, which I now rise, will rob you of your life that has long been residing in your body. Hearing the words of Hanuman, the exceedingly valiant Ravana, his eyes inflamed with anger, answered, Strike quickly without fear, O monkey, win eternal renown. Thereafter I shall destroy you after measuring your strength. Hearing the words of Ravana, Hanuman, the son of wind god, spoke the following words. Recollect that I have killed your son Aksha already. Thus spoken, the highly energetic and the valiant Ravana, the lord of the demons, struck Hanuman, the son of Anjana, a violent blow on the chest with the palm on his hand. Hanuman, thus struck with Ravana's palm, reeled repeatedly. Thereafter, the highly sagacious and illustrious Hanuman secured his balance within a moment, and in fury struck Ravana, the enemy of immortals, with the very palm on his hand. Under the violent impact of the blow of the mighty Hanuman, Ravana shook like a mountain when the earth trembles. Beholding Ravana struck in the fight by Hanuman's palm, the sages, monkeys, semi-divine beings, along with celestials and demons, raised a resounding approbation. Then the extremely spirited Ravana, having regained his breath, spoke the following words. Well done, O monkey. You are my adversary, worthy of praise by your valor. Then Hanuman answered, O Ravana, cursed by their strength, since you do not survive. O foolish fellow, Why this boasting? Now come, strike me once. My fist is about to dispatch you to the abode of Yama, the Lord of Death. Hearing the words of Hanuman, the powerful Ravana enraged, his eyes red with fury, and whirling his fist with a force knocked it down violently on Hanuman's chest. Under the shock, Hanuman reeled once again. Seeing that mighty Hanuman exhausted, Ravana turned his chariot towards Nila. With his terrific arrows in the likeness of serpents, Ravana, the powerful lord of demons, pierced the vital parts of his enemy, thus overwhelming Nila, the monkey general. Nila, the army general of monkeys, tormented by the hail of arrows, with one hand hurled a great rock at Ravana, the king of demons. Meanwhile, Hanuman of exalted mind, burning with courage, regained his breath and in his martial ear cried out ferociously towards Ravana, the lord of the demons, who occupied in fight with Nila as follows: "It is not proper to engage in a combat with a person who is already doing a fight with another." Then the mighty Ravana, however, shattered the rock hurled by Nila with 7-pointed arrow and it fell down, crumbling to pieces. Seeing that rock crumbling to pieces, Nila, the army general, the destroyer of enemies, who resembled the fire of time, glowed with fury. In that fight, Nila hurled Ashwakarna trees, Shala trees with extensive flowering, Chuta trees, and other various types of trees. Ravana, comforting those trees, burst at them and showered a hail of dangerous darts on Nila, the son of fire god. Showered by a multitude of shafts, as from a cloud, the mighty Nila assumed a diminutive form and leapt onto the point of Ravana's standard. Seeing Nila, the son of fire god, standing well on the point of his standard, Ravana inflamed with fury. Then Nila shouted loudly, beholding that monkeys, sometimes leaping onto the point of Ravana's standard, sometimes onto the tip of his bow, and sometimes onto the peak of his diadem, Lakshmana, Hanuman, and Rama were astonished. The mighty Ravana, amazed at the monkey's agility, seized a marvelous and glowing arrow called Agneya, the weapon of fire. Thereafter, those monkeys who felt rejoiced to see Ravana disconcerted at the agility of Nila and had found an occasion for jubilation shouted joyously. Then, provoked by the shouts of the monkeys, his heart possessed with confusing, Ravana did not know what to do. Ravana the demon, taking up an arrow charged with the missile presided over by the fire god, aimed at Nila, who had perched on the tip of his standard. Then Ravana, the king of demons, said, "O monkey, you are endowed with agility combined with the supreme power of magic. Do you save your life if you can? Even though you are creating numerous deeds of various kinds, indeed worth of your own self, O monkey. Even then, the arrow charged with the mystic missile I am about to loose will sever you from life, which existed you seek to preserve." Thus speaking, Ravana, the long-armed king of demons, having placed Agni missile with his arrow, struck Nila, the army general. Struck on the chest by that arrow combined with a missile, Nila, being burnt all over, suddenly fell to the ground. Yet by the virtue of the powerful aid of his father and his own native vigor, though brought to his knees onto the earth, he was not deprived of his life. Seeing Nila unconscious, Ravana, eager for fight in his chariot, whose rattling sound like thunder clouds, rushed on to Lakshmana. Coming to the center of the battlefield, the powerful Ravana, the king of the demons, prevented Lakshmana to go forward, halted, standing there in his glory, and lifted his bow. Lakshmana, of indomitable courage, spoke to that Ravana who was lifting up his unfathomable bow as follows: "O king of demons, now enter into combat with me. Cease from fighting with the monkeys." Hearing that marvelous modulated voice that resounded like the twangling of a bowstring, Ravana, drawing near his adversary, who stood close to his chariot, answered in anger, "O Lakshmana, by my good fortune you are in perverted mind, reached within my range of sight so as to meet your death. This very instant you will go to the region of death, after having collapsed by the bang of my rain of arrows." Then Lakshmana, unmoved, spoke to that Ravana who was roaring with his sharp and protruding teeth as follows: "Greatly dignified ones, Shun bragging. O the foremost of evildoers, you are sounding your own praises. O King of demons, I know your valor, strength, energy, and courage. Come, I now stand here with my bow and arrows in hand, and what use are vain bows? Thus accosted, the king of demons, infuriated, loosened several marvelous plumed arrows, which Lakshmana shattered with his beautiful golden shafted arrows of sharp ends and edges. Beholding those arrows shattered like great cobras, with their hoods scattered and shattered, Ravana got angry and loosened other sharp arrows. Lakshmana, however, caused a well aimed rain of missile from his bow to fall on Ravana, and nay, even broke Ravana's arrow with his arrow called Khura. Ardhachandra, the excellent Karni, and Bhala, he did not feel perturbed. Seeing his successive arrow proving in vain, Ravana, the king of those hostile to gods, was astonished at Lakshmana's skill and released more whetted shafts upon him. Lakshmana, the equal of Mahendra, the lord of celestials, fixing some sharpened arrows, swift as lightning and of blazing effulgence, and his bowstring discharged them on Ravana in order to strike him down. Whereupon Ravana, the king of demons, shattered those pointed arrows and struck Lakshmana in the forehead with a shaft as bright as the fire of time, which has been bestowed on him by Brahma, the lord of creation. Struck by Ravana's arrow, Lakshmana reeled a little and was scarcely able to retain his bow, but coming to his consciousness with difficulty, he shattered that weapon belonging to Ravana, Indra's enemy. Then Lakshmana, the son of Dashratha, struck Ravana, whose bow was broken, with 3 pointed darts. The king, pierced by those arrows, swooned and regained his senses with difficulty. Ravana, the enemy of celestials, whose bow was broken, struck by that arrow, his limbs splattered with flesh, and streaming with blood, himself of formidable energy, seized in the battle a spear gifted to him by Brahma, the lord of creation. Ravana, the lord of the country of demons, hurled with strength on Lakshmana that blazing spear, emitting smoke and as bright as fire, frightening the monkeys in the fray. Lakshmana, the younger brother of Bharata, struck that weapon, falling upon him with arrows and darts, and if it were a sacrificial fire, nevertheless the spear entered Lakshmana's broad chest. The mighty Lakshmana, struck by that spear, lay on earth, breathing fire. The king, rushing suddenly on him who was yet insensible, seized him brutally in his hands. Though he was able to lift up Himavant, Mandara, and Meru mountains, as also the 3 worlds with the gods, he could not raise Lakshmana, the younger brother of Bharata. Lakshmana, though wounded in the breast by Brahma's weapon, recollected that he was an inconceivable fraction of Vishnu himself. Ravana, that thorn in the side of the gods, though overcoming that Lakshmana who removed the pride of the demons, was unable to bear him away with his hands. Thereupon the enraged Hanuman, the son of the wind gods, rushed towards Ravana and struck angrily on his chest with his fist, resembling a thunderbolt. By that blow of the fist, Ravana, the lord of the demons, reeled and fell on his knees to the ground. A lot of blood oozed out from his face, eyes, and ears. Reeling and motionless, he became and sat in the middle of the chariot. Seeing Ravana, despite his redoubtable strength, swooned on the battlefield, sages and monkeys began to shout in triumph, as did also celestials and demons, invisible present on the scene, but watching to the heavens. Then courageous Hanuman lifted up Lakshmana in his arms, who had been wounded by Ravana, brought him to Rama's presence. That Lakshmana, whom his foes were unable to move, became light for Hanuman because of friendship and great devotion of Hanuman, the son of wind god, towards him. That spear, leaving Lakshmana, who was overcome in the battle, returning to its position in the chariot of Ravana. The mighty Ravana too regained his consciousness in the great battlefield, picked up his sharp arrows and a great bow. Healed and free from the lance, Lakshmana, the annihilator of his foes, recollected of himself as part of the inconceivable Vishnu, the Lord of preservation. Beholding the great army of monkeys whose great warrior has overthrown the battlefield, Rama rushed on Ravana. Meanwhile, Hanuman, approaching Rama, spoke the following words: "You have to punish the demon by climbing my back, as Vishnu on Garuda, in order to fight with enemy of gods." Hearing those words spoken by Hanuman, the son of wind god, Rama soon after mounted the great monkey Hanuman. Rama, the lord of men, then saw Ravana standing in his chariot in the battlefield. The mighty Rama became angry on seeing him, and rushed upon that Ravana like unto Vishnu with his uplifted mace, rushing upon Virochana. Rama made a sound in drawing the cord of his bow, and like unto the roll of thunder, spoke in a deep voice to Ravana as follows: "O tiger among the demons, stay, stay. Having evoked such a displeasure to me, where will you free and get an abandonment? Even if you seek refuge in the region of Indra, the lord of celestials, or Yama, the lord of death, or the sun, or Brahma, the lord of creation, or Agni, the lord of fire, or Shiva, the lord of dissolution, or in the 10 regions, even in those abodes you will elude me from now on. O Ravana, the king of demons, the one who was struck by the spear, fell swooping this day, only to recover consciousness immediately, will now assume the form of death, claiming you, your sons and grandsons in battle. Here is he, under whose blow of arrows 14,000 demons of terrible form perished, who has established themselves in Janasthana, and were furnished with excellent weapons." Hearing the words of Rama, Ravana of great strength, full of rage, and recollecting his former hostility, struck with flaming arrows, resembling the tongues of the fire of dissolution, on Hanuman, the son of wind god, who with extreme velocity was bearing Rama in the battlefield. Even when struck by the demon with his arrows in the battle, the vigor of Hanuman, who was endowed with native strength, increased still further. Thereupon, seeing Hanuman, the tiger among the monkeys, getting wounded by Ravana, Rama was transported with anger. Going near his chariot with his sharp and pointed arrows, Rama shattered it along with its wheels, horse, banner, canopy, and great standard, charioteer, darts, spears, and swords. Thereupon, with great force, Rama struck with his shaft, shining brightly as a thunderbolt, that Ravana, the enemy of Indra, in his broad and beautiful chest, even as the mighty Indra would strike the Mount Meru with his thunderbolt. That valiant king of demons, who neither thunder nor lightning could disturbance or trembling, stumbled, letting fall his bow at the valiant impact of Rama's missile, which created a deep injury. Seeing that Ravana swooning, the magnanimous Rama took up a blazing arrow, sharp like a crescent moon, and immediately used it to shatter the diadem of Ravana, the lord of demons, which was of bright hue. In that battlefield, Rama said to the lord of demons, whose splendor was dimmed, the setting of his diadem river, who resembled a venomous snake robbed of its poison, or like a sun, its rays extinguished, bereft of luster: "You have accomplished a highly terrific great feat, and my brave soldiers have succumbed beneath your blows. Now you are weary, and in this condition I shall not put you under the clutches of death. O king of the ranger of the night, I know you have been tormented in the battle. Go and return to Lanka. Having regained your breath, come back in your chariot with your bow, and then standing in your chariot, you will witness once more my prowess." At these words, the king Ravana, his joy boasting, subdued, his bow shattered, his horses and chariots slain, pierced with arrows, his great diadem broken. He soon returned to Lanka. While that mighty Ravana, the lord of the demons and the enemy of celestials and titans, returned to Lanka, Rama arranged for drawing out arrows from monkeys and from Lakshmana too, in the forefront of the vast battlefield. That Ravana, the adversary of the king of the gods, being vanquished, the celestials, asuras, the multitude of beings in all quarters, the creation of the ocean, with the great serpent, and also all beings on earth and in water, rejoiced very much. Thus completes 59th chapter of Yuddha Kanda of the glorious Ramayana of Valmiki, the work of a sage and the oldest epic. Sri Moola Rama Vijayate. Sri Krishnarpanamastu.